You won't believe how bad some of this year's SUVs have gotten, and how insanely good others have become. 2025 flipped the script on the car industry. Fan favorites fell from grace, newcomers dominated, and some luxury brands are suddenly struggling to justify their price tags. We've done all the digging so you don't have to. In this breakdown, we're exposing the 5 worst and 7 best SUVs you can buy in 2025. And trust me, one of the worst picks is a name every car lover once respected. Stick around until the end, because the number one SUV of 2025 doesn't just outperform its rivals, it changes the game for what an SUV can be. Let's start with the ones you'll want to stay far, far away from. There was a time when the Jeep Grand Cherokee stood for everything drivers wanted: toughness, dependability, and the freedom to go anywhere. But in 2025, that reputation has crumbled faster than anyone expected. On the surface, the Grand Cherokee looks like a success story. The body is muscular, the cabin is lined with premium materials, and the tech setup sounds impressive. A 10-inch head-up display, a 10.3-inch digital gauge cluster, and a 10.1-inch touchscreen. Higher trims even flaunt quilted leather seats and a premium Alpine or Macintosh sound system. It's everything you'd expect from a top-tier SUV, until you look under the hood. That's where the problems start, and never seem to end. Owners have reported rollaway risks, loss of vehicle control, and even fire hazards with the plug-in hybrid 4xe models. The quality control issues are so widespread that many buyers are walking away, realizing that the modern Grand Cherokee is all style and no substance. And then there's the price. The base model starts at around $36,000, but the hybrid version can shoot past $80,000 when fully loaded. Nearly luxury SUV territory. The problem? You're paying almost double what competitors like the Hyundai Santa Fe hybrid cost, but getting worse fuel economy. 23 miles per gallon combined from a hybrid, this expensive is laughable. It's a painful fall for a vehicle that once defined the midsize SUV segment. What used to be a rugged icon now feels like an overpriced liability, and it's proof that even legendary names can lose their way when greed outruns quality. But Jeep isn't alone. Another American giant has managed to turn innovation into one of the biggest headaches of the year. For decades, Ford built its reputation on reliability and innovation, but the 2025 Ford Escape proves that even the oldest car maker in America can get it terribly wrong. At first glance, the Escape looks like a solid modern SUV, compact, sleek, and packed with options. But beneath that polished exterior lies one of Ford's biggest missteps in years: the 1.5-liter EcoBoost engine. On paper, it's efficient. In reality, it's a ticking time bomb. This 3-cylinder engine, shared with the Ford Bronco Sport, has been plagued by fuel injector failures so severe that over 500,000 vehicles had to be recalled. The reason? Cars were literally catching fire. And the problems don't stop there. The hybrid and plug-in hybrid versions, the models that were supposed to restore Ford's reputation, have been hit by battery defects. Some owners report their vehicles simply stop working, without warning. Imagine paying over $30,000 for a brand new SUV that just gives up on you mid-commute. Even if you avoid the worst engines, you're still left with one of the weakest warranties in its class. Just 5 years or 60,000 miles on the powertrain. For a brand trying to compete with Toyota, Hyundai, and Honda, that's laughable. Sure, the Escape's turbocharged 2.0-liter EcoBoost is better, and if you're lucky enough to get one without issues, it might last 150,000 miles with care. But that's not the kind of gamble most car buyers are willing to take, especially when alternatives like the Mazda CX-5 or Honda CR-V offer more power, more comfort, and far better long-term reliability for the same price. In short, the 2025 Escape tries to be everything: gas, hybrid, and plug-in hybrid, but ends up being nothing special. It's a reminder that innovation means nothing when reliability is left behind. And if you think Ford's struggles are bad, just wait. Because the next SUV on our list is so forgettable that even its own brand seems unsure why it exists. If you thought Volkswagen's reputation for quality would save them from embarrassment, think again. The Volkswagen Taos is living proof that not every German car deserves its badge. When the Taos first launched, it was meant to fill the gap between the compact Tiguan and the smaller Golf. But what buyers got instead was a bland, overpriced crossover that fails to deliver on nearly every front. It's not fast, it's not particularly comfortable, and worst of all, it's not even reliable. The 2022 model was an absolute disaster, suffering 6 major recalls by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. These weren't minor fixes. We're talking about potential stalling, faulty fuel systems, and safety defects that could put drivers at risk. Volkswagen promised they'd turn things around for 2025, but the improvements have been modest at best. Sure, the latest Taos looks decent on paper. You get a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with 174 horsepower, optional leather upholstery, and even a panoramic sunroof. But the reality? It feels sluggish off the line. Consumer Reports highlighted a delay when accelerating from a stop, and while Volkswagen claims the new version fixed it, the hesitation is still there. It's the kind of lag that makes you second-guess every green light. And here's the kicker. Volkswagen doesn't even seem to trust its own engineering. The Taos comes with a powertrain warranty of just 50,000 miles, barely half of what brands like Hyundai or Kia offer. That's basically Volkswagen admitting, don't count on this thing lasting. At roughly $26,000, it's dangerously close in price to much better SUVs, like the Toyota RAV4, Mazda CX-5, or Subaru Forester, all of which outperform it in reliability, comfort, and resale value. So if the Taos was supposed to be Volkswagen's answer to affordable performance, it's more like a question no one asked, and definitely one no one needed answered. But as bad as the Taos is, our next SUV takes disappointment to another level. It looks sporty, promises excitement, and yet fails in almost every way that matters. If there were ever an SUV that perfectly captured the phrase all show, no go, it's the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. From a distance, this thing looks like it should be fun. Sharp lines, coupe-style roof, and that futuristic rear light bar. But once you actually drive it, the illusion shatters faster than its resale value. Mitsubishi wanted to reinvent the Eclipse name, once a symbol of sporty performance, into a compact crossover. Unfortunately, what they built feels like a budget rental car wearing a costume. Under the hood sits a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, producing just 152 horsepower. Combine that with a CVT transmission, and you've got a recipe for underwhelming performance and droning noise every time you press the gas. The fuel economy? Nothing special. 25 miles per gallon in the city, 28 on the highway. Numbers that barely meet class averages, despite the tiny engine and CVT. For an SUV starting around $26,500, that's just disappointing. Especially when you realize that spending a few thousand more gets you a Mazda CX-5 or even a Volkswagen Tiguan, both far superior in power and handling. But it's not just about speed. The Eclipse Cross stumbles in almost every practical area, too. Cargo space is cramped, visibility is poor, and the interior feels like it's from 2015. Outdated infotainment, cheap materials, and noisy road feedback. Even the safety tech, something Mitsubishi tried to market hard, is mostly locked behind higher trims. Now, to be fair, Mitsubishi does offer one saving grace, a 10-year powertrain warranty. And given how unreliable small turbo engines and CVTs tend to be, you're probably going to need it. Still, it's hard to recommend a vehicle that's essentially trying to be something it's not. The Eclipse Cross wanted to bring excitement back to Mitsubishi, but instead it reminded everyone why the brand faded from the spotlight in the first place. And as bad as that sounds, our next SUV takes disappointment to a whole new level. It's powerful, stylish, and bold on paper. But in reality, it's one of the most overhyped flops of the year. Ready for it? Let's talk about the Dodge Hornet, where performance meets disaster. The Dodge Hornet is a textbook example of how a car can look like a winner, but drive like a letdown. At first glance, it's a head turner. Aggressive front end, sculpted body lines, and a cabin that actually feels premium for its class. On paper, it has everything going for it: power, speed, and Dodge's performance DNA. But peel back that shiny exterior, and you'll find one of the most frustrating SUVs of 2025. Let's start with the specs that fooled everyone. The gas-powered GT trim comes with a 2.0-liter turbocharged four-cylinder, making 268 horsepower and paired with a 9-speed automatic transmission. It rockets from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 6.5 seconds, which sounds impressive for a compact SUV. The hybrid RT version pushes things further, combining a 1.3-liter turbo with an electric motor for over 280 horsepower. Fast? Yes. Smart buy? Not even close. The first problem is reliability, or rather, the total lack of it. That small turbocharged 1.3-liter engine is a ticking time bomb. It's prone to overheating, oil leaks, and turbo failure, and when it breaks, repairs aren't cheap. Owners of last year's model reported check engine lights before hitting 10,000 miles. And despite Dodge's bold marketing, the Hornet's hybrid system feels rushed, clunky, and inefficient. Its fuel economy barely cracks 30 miles per gallon, which is laughable compared to smoother, cheaper hybrids, like the Toyota RAV4 or Honda CR-V hybrid. Then there's the price. The Hornet starts at about $33,000, and a fully loaded RT can push past $45,000. For that kind of money, you could get a Mazda CX-70, a Genesis GV70, or even a lightly used BMW X3, all better built, more reliable, and more refined. And the depreciation? Brutal. According to Kelley Blue Book, the Hornet GT is projected to lose nearly $20,000 in value within 5 years. That's one of the worst resale performances in the entire segment. Add to that a J.D. Power quality score of just 66 out of 100, and you've got a vehicle that's fast on the road, and even faster at draining your wallet. It's a shame because Dodge almost had something special here. The Hornet looks like a hot hatch on steroids, but it drives like a costly mistake. Now that we've covered the 5 lemons of 2025, it's time to flip the script, because the next group of SUVs doesn't just avoid disaster, they redefine excellence. And the first one on that list? A familiar name that refuses to die, and somehow keeps getting better every year. Let's talk about the Mazda CX-5, the compact SUV that just won't quit. Some cars fade into history quietly. The Mazda CX-5 refuses to be one of them. In 2025, it's not just surviving in a market packed with flashy hybrids and electric crossovers. It's thriving. While other brands are busy chasing gimmicks, Mazda focused on something timeless: balance, quality, and the pure joy of driving. The CX-5 might not scream for attention, but it doesn't need to. Its design is understated elegance, smooth curves, sharp edges, and a fit and finish that rivals luxury brands costing twice as much. Inside, everything feels purpose-built, from the solid click of every button to the near-silent cabin that isolates you from the chaos outside. Mazda calls it driver-centric design. Everyone else just calls it better. Under the hood, even the base engine impresses. A 2.5-liter inline-4 making 187 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque. It's paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission and comes with standard all-wheel drive, giving the CX-5 a confident, planted feel through corners. It's one of the few SUVs that actually makes driving fun again. For those who crave extra punch, the turbocharged version ups the ante to 256 horsepower, shaving the 0 to 60 sprint down to just 6.2 seconds. Not bad for something that's also your daily grocery getter. And while many automakers are using cost-cutting CVTs to save a few bucks, Mazda stuck with traditional gears, a move enthusiasts love. It keeps the drive smooth, responsive, and predictable, especially in sport mode. Mazda didn't stop at performance either. The 2025 CX-5 introduced new standard safety features across all trims: adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, and pedestrian detection, systems that used to be reserved for luxury SUVs. Yet the starting price dropped by $700, now sitting around $28,500. That's an almost unheard of combination of lower price, better features, and top-tier reliability. The only drawbacks? A slightly tight rear seat and smaller cargo space compared to roomier rivals like the Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4. But that's a small trade-off for a car that delivers so much refinement, durability, and pure driving pleasure. In an era where crossovers are becoming soulless tech boxes, the Mazda CX-5 feels refreshingly human. A driver's SUV built for people who still love the road. But the CX-5's reign as the people's champion is being challenged by a luxury newcomer that's been quietly humiliating German brands, one high-tech feature at a time. Enter the Genesis G V70, the underdog that just might be the best luxury SUV of the year. Every few years, a new luxury car comes along and quietly rewrites the rulebook. In 2025, that car is the Genesis G V70, the SUV that made BMW, Audi, and Mercedes sweat. What started as a bold experiment from Hyundai's luxury division has now turned into one of the most refined, high-performing vehicles money can buy. At first glance, the GV70 looks stunning. Sleek curves, bold proportions, and that unmistakable two-line headlight design that's now become Genesis's signature. But it's the details that make this SUV stand out. The G-Matrix grille, the diamond-stitched leather seats, the ambient lighting that feels like a modern art exhibit. Everything about it whispers sophistication. And yet the price starts at just $45,000. Inside, the technology feels like something from the future. You don't even need a key. Fingerprint authentication starts the car, loads your personal driving settings, and adjusts your seat and mirrors automatically. The electronic suspension scans the road in real time, softening or tightening the ride before you even feel a bump. And when parking gets tricky, the remote smart parking assist lets you step out and watch the GV70 park itself, or pull itself out of a tight space like magic. Under the hood, you've got options, and both are powerful. The 2.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder makes 300 horsepower, while the 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 turns the GV70 into a rocket with 375 horsepower. Both come with all-wheel drive and an 8-speed automatic transmission, blending luxury comfort with raw performance. Fuel economy is solid too, around 22 miles per gallon city and 28 miles per gallon highway. Impressive for something this quick and heavy. But what really sets the GV70 apart is how it feels to drive. It's balanced, quiet, and composed. The kind of car that makes long trips feel shorter and short trips feel special. It's not trying to copy Germany, it's redefining what affordable luxury looks like. And that's what makes the GV70 so dangerous to its competitors. It's $15,000 cheaper than a BMW X3 or Mercedes GLC, yet it feels more advanced and better built. Genesis isn't just catching up, it's setting the pace. Still, BMW wasn't about to let a newcomer steal the spotlight that easily. Because right when everyone thought Genesis had won, BMW fired back with an SUV that reminded everyone why the brand's name still carries weight in the performance world. Let's talk about the BMW X1, a small SUV with big power and even bigger surprises. The 2025 lineup of standout SUVs proves one thing. The best cars aren't always the flashiest or the most expensive. From affordable luxury to electrifying innovation, these four models have set new benchmarks for what an SUV should be. Let's start with the BMW X1, the smallest SUV in BMW's lineup that's making some very big waves. Starting around $41,000, it delivers the perfect mix of performance, comfort, and efficiency. Under the hood sits a 2.0-liter turbocharged four-cylinder that pumps out 241 horsepower, with the M35 A trim, cranking that up to 312. The 7-speed dual-clutch transmission shifts so smoothly you barely feel it, and the 0 to 60 time of 5.4 seconds makes this baby BMW feel anything but small. It's quick, agile, and unexpectedly refined, a reminder that BMW hasn't lost its touch. The only catch? You'll pay extra for the fancy stuff. Adaptive cruise control, lane assist, and the panoramic head-up display are all optional. But even without the bells and whistles, the X1's crisp handling and driver-focused design make it a joy to drive. It's proof that luxury can be compact and still feel purely BMW. Now let's talk about a car that's become almost a legend in its own right, the Kia Telluride. When it launched, nobody expected a midsize SUV from Kia to outshine European and Japanese rivals. But here we are. The 2025 Telluride continues to dominate as the best three-row SUV on the market, with a 3.8-liter V6 delivering 291 horsepower, a serene interior, and seating for up to 8. It's both a family favorite and an enthusiast's sleeper pick. This year, Kia gave it a mild facelift, a sharper grille, updated LED headlights, and 20-inch alloys, while upgrading standard features like smart cruise control, lane keeping assist, and a 360-degree camera system. It's comfortable, capable, and surprisingly luxurious, all for around $37,000. That's less than half the price of some luxury SUVs that don't even come close. But maybe you're not looking for size or luxury. Maybe you just want smart efficiency. That's where the Honda CR-V Hybrid comes in. Long known as the sensible choice, Honda has somehow made sensible exciting. The 2025 Hybrid combines a 2.0-liter four-cylinder with dual electric motors, producing 204 horsepower and an impressive 43 miles per gallon city / 36 miles per gallon highway. It's smooth, quiet, and built like a tank. Inside, you'll find nearly 77 cubic feet of cargo space and standard tech features like adaptive cruise control and traffic sign recognition, things other brands still charge extra for. The CR-V Hybrid doesn't just save gas, it saves you headaches. And finally, we end with a true showstopper, the Hyundai Ioniq 5N, the EV that sent shockwaves through the entire industry. It's not just Hyundai's best car, it's one of the most exciting electric SUVs ever built. Packing a mind-blowing 641 horsepower, this electric beast launches from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.25 seconds, faster than a Lamborghini Urus. It even comes with N-Grin Boost, a feature that temporarily increases power for a 10-second adrenaline rush. Sure, it's pricey, around $67,000, and the 221-mile range isn't class-leading, but it's built for performance, not range anxiety. The fast-charging system gets you from 10% to 80% in under 20 minutes, and the driving dynamics are pure insanity. balanced, responsive, and thrilling. It's the clearest sign yet that EVs can be more than quiet commuters. They can be supercars in disguise. These 4 SUVs, the X1, Telluride, CR-V Hybrid, and Ioniq 5N, show how far the industry has evolved. Whether you want luxury, practicality, or all-out power, 2025 has something for you, if you know where to look. Because in this lineup, one thing's certain. Some SUVs will make you smile for years, and others will make you wish you never signed the paperwork. But before you rush to buy, remember, the car world changes fast. Next year, one of these kings might fall, and a brand you've never considered could rise to the top. And if you want to stay ahead of those shifts, we've got you covered. Check out our next video, 23 cars that won't last 40,000 miles, because knowing what not to buy is just as important as finding the perfect ride. Hit that like button, subscribe, and buckle up. 2025 is just getting started. 2025 has been a wild year for SUVs, a reminder that not every shiny badge guarantees quality, and not every newcomer should be underestimated. Some of the biggest names in the industry, Jeep, Ford, Dodge, fell hard, weighed down by recalls, reliability issues, and outrageous prices. Meanwhile, unexpected champions like Mazda, Genesis, and Hyundai rose from the shadows to dominate, proving that smart engineering and bold design still matter more than brand hype. It's a year that flipped the SUV hierarchy upside down. We saw once beloved models crumble under their own reputations, while underdogs redefined what drivers should expect for their money. The takeaway? The best SUV isn't the one with the loudest badge. It's the one built with purpose, precision, and pride. So before you drop tens of thousands on a vehicle that might turn into a headache, do your homework. Because behind every gleaming showroom floor, there's a story. And sometimes it's not the one you're being sold. But if you want to know which cars are true nightmares on wheels, don't stop here. Our next video dives into the 23 cars that won't even make it to 40,000 miles. And trust me, some of them will shock you. Hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because the next time you think you know cars, the truth might surprise you.